Firstly, Shivani, through you, if I can first offer my condolences to the families and the units that
Yes.
have suffered this loss. Second, I must also highlight that look at the resoluteness with which the situation is being faced on the line of actual control by our soldiers in the front line who are strictly abiding by what are the agreements between the two countries and what has been agreed in the recent meeting of 6 June 2020. Now, the first of all, from what we are seeing and whatever is coming out now, you've heard just read out the statement yourself, and what we can make out from what the army has put out and is expected to give out little more details shortly. What's coming out is there has been
Right.
a serious violation by the Chinese side last evening from what they have agreed. I understand that they have come across and done some kind of a construction, which is exactly what our people wanted removed and how they have responded. You just mentioned yourself as to not only have they pelted stones, they have brought, batons to come and strike at people. That's a very difficult terrain. Even to
Right.
get across to the patrolling point, you have to go, over the river number of times. It's treacherous terrain, and in that we are seeing such a bizarre conduct of, complete aggressiveness, violence, and what have you. So now going into the future, as you're saying, I think it is very important to first, I'm assuming the situation is frozen now because through the day, the two-star level talks have happened. So if the situation is frozen, first of all, locally that place must get de-escalated. I think the only positive side that I'm seeing in the situation now, that this conflagration over here near this patrol point 14, which we understand, has not gone to the other places where the face-offs are
Right.
there. So mercifully, it is, localized over here. But that said, it is very serious, and I
Right.
think more details will come out in the army statement.
I want to come
So
back
going
to you,
into the
Lieutenant
future-
General, on how you place this historically as far as India-China skirmishes are concerned. Before that, I want to quickly go across to my colleague Abhishek once again. Abhishek, the Indian government taking this very seriously. That is what we can deduce. And it is, of course, a very serious manner in which India has faced casualties. Now, there are casualties on the Chinese side as well. But given that this is happening for the first time between India and China in 45 years, what sense are you picking up from the Indian government?
Naturally so, Shivani, it has to be taken seriously. We have seen how multiple meetings and engagements have happened all through the day. Briefings have happened about the incident. What I can say is that our response is very measured vis-a-vis in contrast to the kind of belligerence that we have seen from the side of Chinese all through the day. In fact, even before facts really emerged, the Chinese were, I would say, a little stupid in saying that we don't know whether an incident has happened. They could have waited for collecting facts, because later, even in Chinese media, reports emerged that there were fatalities on their side or casualties on their side as well. So I don't know in what mind they were. Even the foreign minister came with a statement
Right.
without checking facts on the ground. So in that contrast, if you put that contrast, the MEA statement is measured, at the same time very firm in terms of pinning down the responsibility on Chinese aggression so far as this particular incident of last evening at point
Yes.
14 in Galwan area is concerned, and also the fact that we would defend our sovereignty, which means it leaves open for the now the Ministry of Defence and the Indian Army to come back with their response, which is awaited and should be out in a while.
It has taken some time, but I think in matters such as this, it is better to take your time, as Abhishek is mentioning, than fire off the cuff. And we have seen the difference between how India has responded and how Chinese establishment has responded. I want to quickly go across to my colleague Niranjan also. Niranjan, as we speak, the Prime Minister is in a meeting with both Defence Minister and Home Minister. Tell us more of what you're picking up, Niranjan.
Shivani, look at the way, the different engagements that have taken place since this afternoon. Immediately after the story broke, Rajnath Singh went into a huddle with the Chief of Defence Staff, the General Bipin Rawat. three service chiefs were there. The Minister of External Affairs S. Jaishankar was also there. Now, as that meeting was on, we also know that there were different military engagements on the ground, including in eastern Ladakh in the Galwan Valley, where Major General level talks were on after the face-off. Details of which, by the way, Abhishek broke this afternoon and has been now confirmed more or less by the Ministry of External Affairs in its statement, where they have said, and I want to quote what the Ministry of External Affairs has said, and also goes on to confirm what we said this evening in a blow-by-blow account. They have said, and I quote, "Senior commanders had a productive meeting, agreed on a process for de-escalation. Subsequently," this is what we broke, Abhishek, "subsequently, ground commanders had a series of meetings to implement the consensus reached at a higher level." So when the commanding officer was there at the Galwan Valley trying to make sure that Chinese back off 5 kilometers to the east of Post 1, this is exactly what was happening. And Shivani, coming back to your question, the Prime Minister has been briefed at different levels, and we also believe that the NSA Ajit Doval was part of one of those meetings. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar also there, along with Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. There have been several engagements between the different ministers itself before they
in fact
met
on
the
what the government
meeting
what the government's thought may be. Since Lieutenant General Subrata Saha is with us, Niranjan, he's part of the National Security Advisory Board. I want to go across to him very quickly and understand from him, one, the historical perspective, Lieutenant General. Is there any parallel to this, what has happened between India and China now? And secondly, how do you expect the Indian government to take this?
See, first and foremost, we haven't had an incident like this, as you mentioned, in the last 45 years. But that said, I must also highlight that the level of aggressiveness and violence on the line of actual control has been going up. If you go back to the Depsang incident of 2013 and the Doklam incident of 2017, on both these occasions, the Chinese soldiers on the ground took a long time to disengage and go back. So there is a serious problem about transmission of orders, or perhaps obedience of orders, which is coming from the top. And for the kind of conduct that we are seeing on the ground, this is not how disciplined soldiers conduct. This is a conduct, and I am not surprised because of the kind of conscription that they have in their army. So that's how you are seeing this kind of conduct on the ground. Now, going into the future, as we were discussing when you were asking me the last time, I think I assume the situation is frozen now because the two-star level talks happened. So the next thing is to de-escalate it locally over here and then take it forward as per that. And in case that were not to happen, I think the MEA statement, which you just read out a little while, it is very categoric that there is going to be no compromise whatsoever on the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the country. And I'm very sure for the kind of build-up that has taken place now and for the kind of deployment that we have, I think if not equal, we are stronger to be able to give back much more resolute response if the situation so demands.
Lieutenant General Subrata Saha, thanks a lot for your time. We look forward to speaking to you again. And I want to take your point that you have made to Captain Alok Bansal as well. There's an element of rogueness, which I think Lieutenant General Subrata Saha pointed to. And that perhaps is a bigger issue for the Chinese right now, because there's a lot at stake, as we have been reporting for both countries. Captain Alok Bansal, how do you read the situation?
No doubt. Firstly, Chinese army, which is PLA, has not fought a war. The last war they fought was Sino-Vietnam War in 78, where poor account of theirs. And the Chinese soldier, Chinese army's discipline has always been a question mark. Deng Xiaoping realized this, and that's why he went in for a modernization. Now, coming to the current standoff, we need to understand that when Chinese carried out number of incursions along line of actual control, all over, from Sikkim to Eastern Ladakh, to my mind, that was a deliberate provocation to give some political signaling to India. But what happened yesterday night, to my mind, is an isolated incident and a localized affair, probably, as General Saha said, because of the poor discipline of the Chinese army. Whatever inputs I have got indicate that while withdrawing, the Chinese wanted to capture some feature, and in the resulting scuffle, most of the casualties have happened because people have fallen. fallen into the river. In fact, Chinese have had a huge casualties, and in fact, many of their bodies, according to reports that are creeping in, have not been recovered. Now, this we need to understand that this terrain is extremely steep, very, very difficult terrain. And if you have a physical scuffle with batons and stones, the possibility of people slipping, falling down and all is possible. It's actually quite a steep fall, and waters are freezing waters, and there have been casualties. But as I said, this sort of a conduct of the Chinese army, that is PLA, firstly shows very poorly on them. Secondly, shows that we should not trust Chinese on their face value. We need to be more careful when they are withdrawing. Till they withdraw,
Absolutely.
till they
I think we've known that for a while, isn't it? Captain Alok Bansal. NC Bipindra is also with us. Now, diplomatically, India has issued a statement required, and as we've been mentioning, it's been measured, which is the Indian hallmark, and not quite like the Chinese or some of our other neighbors. What more can be done? Can this be resolved diplomatically alone, or does something else needs to be done?
Shivani, thank you very much. I'll just start by saying, expressing my condolences to the families of Indian commanding officer of the Bihar unit and the soldiers who have died in this violent incident that happened in Ladakh, Galwan Valley.
Yes.
I mean, the question that you asked is, how would this pan out? What can be expected? And what needs to be done? I think the Indian statement that has come from the Ministry of External Affairs is very sensible and sober. They have correctly pointed out the current situation, and they have highlighted that the Chinese were the ones who were provoking this violence that had happened. And they also pointed out that India is not going to compromise on the sovereignty and the security of the country. And I think these are the right statements to make. Also, we should keep in mind that military leaders on the ground have been speaking since the violent incident happened last evening, overnight, and then they are trying to diffuse the situation and then trying to achieve peace. I think that is the way forward. The peace has to be maintained at the border. But I just want to highlight that one important thing. The people keep talking about engaging China, but what has happened over the years now? We have seen that the Chinese have not been positively responding to any of our positive engagements that we have had. So I can point out a number of incidences like the nuclear suppliers group, where we sought membership and the Chinese scuttled them. The UN Security Council, we wanted a resolution on the Masood Azhar's as a terrorist, as a global terrorist, that was scuttled by Chinese. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization membership, the Chinese insisted that India's arch rival Pakistan need to be a member in SCO before they can do it. I think these are all the sort of psyops that the Chinese adopt. I just want to mention something that nobody has been mentioning. The Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, he has been a member of the United Front department of the Chinese Communist Party for 15 years. And the specific role of this department is information warfare. Xi Jinping is an expert in psyops, psychological warfare, and that is what he is doing right now by putting out all these information on Global Times, which is a state-run media. And he is also using some Indian journalists who have been enjoying scholarships in China for a year, and then this has been brought out by
well, I think psychological operations, NC Bipindra, is part of the game now. And I think that there has been a resolve for the last few times, and perhaps growing, that India has to play the game, it has to be done. And while India will maintain its principles, time has come, of course, to put China in its place as well. And I think those are the questions that we will continue to search more answers for. Right now, as we speak, Defense Minister and Home Minister are in a meeting with the Prime Minister. We'll expect to hear more from the government, and of course, a statement is due from the army as well. Time for us to slip into a very short break. A big thanks